What exactly is internationalization? Well, Wikipedia defines it as designing a software application so that can be adapted to various language without engineering changes. So that's actually the really key part of this definition, the without engineering changes. Because if you did actually need to do all of these different engineering changes to adapt it to a given region or a given language, then that would just be called hard coding. That's not actually really internationalization, right? So the thing about internationalization is that's all about scalability. And a related concept is localization. So localization is taking this internationalized software and making it work for some given region or language by translating text and adding locale-specific components. So just real quick, what is a locale-specific component? It's things like, for example, date orders. So in the United States, we go month, then day, then year. In other countries, it goes day, then month, then year. So things like that. So when we think about internationalization versus localization, really the first thing that we're doing is we're going to internationalize to really do that platform level investment to create that robustness. Then we're going to do the one-off work for each region, and that's localization. In other words, you can't really localize unless you've internationalized. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that as we consider internationalization, that we just keep these gotchas in mind. First off, different regions have different market landscapes. It's not just one big global market. As much as people like to say that there's globalization, the world is flat now, that's not necessarily true. Actually, lots of different markets have all of these very nuanced market dynamics that are different from market to market. So as an example, China, Japan, and Korea, many times they're just bundled into East Asia. But that's not actually true. The way in which consumers use products, the way in which businesses make purchasing decisions in these three countries is very different from one another. And so we need to very much keep that in mind when we consider to, jump into another region. The other thing that we just want to keep in mind is that whatever region we're going to start in for our current product very much influences which region to go after next. In other words, our internationalization plan is context dependent. It depends on where we started. So as an example, if we are in the European Union, it's typically a lot easier to go after other EU countries because they have similar legal frameworks. They have similar kinds of user behavior, even though the languages underneath are very different.